Chartrand. Easel number 4, Monty. Easel number 5, Mattingly. And on number 6, Hayley Roussel. All right, I'm going to go ahead, give our artist that 10-second countdown. Ready those brushes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's paint.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to Art Battle in New Orleans. We are just starting round number 2. We have 20 minutes officially on the clock. These artists have just 20 minutes from blank canvas to incredible masterpiece right in front of your Hello everyone, and welcome back to Art Battle in New Orleans. We are just starting round number 2. We have 20 minutes officially. Here we are with Lana Guerra, who is creating this really vibrant piece that's featuring lots of yellow right now. It looks like we've got some eyeballs going on as well. And Lana describes her work as being very childlike and inspired by outsider art. So we're going to see a lot of really intuitive movement and some playful characters from her as well. Here we are with Nila Perez, and Nila's work is really atmospheric, definitely concentrates a lot on movement, and has a really interesting use of colors. So I'm very, very excited to see where Nila goes with this piece in only 20 minutes. Already we've got some really interesting techniques going on here, and we can see that she's actually holding her brush in her mouth, which is pretty fun as well. And I think that we're going to be going into some portrait territory here. It looks like Nila is laying on some really thick paint and starting to kind of use the pressure of the brush to reveal some of the canvas underneath. This is a really interesting technique here, and one that I'm definitely enjoying. We're seeing a lot of texture and depth being achieved very, very quickly. Moving over to Taylor Chartrand, and Taylor's work is often really focused on dramatic lighting. She does a variance of subject, and she also likes to kind of incorporate magical elements within her compositions as well. Looks like we're seeing some sort of doorway or portal beginning to take shape, and she's using these really desaturated, watered down paints, and it's looking very much like a watercolor treatment, although I believe that she is actually using acrylic paint, and the way that it's gliding onto the canvas in this beautiful, super smooth way is just very satisfying to watch for sure.
Oh shoot, Morgan, we got it going.
We got it going. I'm so happy. Our first event in New Orleans. Everyone, this is Simon Plashkes, our Battle co-founder.
Hi, Morgan. Hi, everyone. Happy to be here. Pushing a million buttons behind the scenes, and we finally got it going. Thank you very much to our camera person there at ZonyMash. What's his name, Morgan?
Jay. Shout out to Jay.
Shout out to Jay. Jay, thanks for powering through 9 million different settings. And look at the energy of this artist on the screen there right now. powering that paint onto the canvas.
So this is Monty, and Monty is one of the artists that I knew was going to be the most performative. He's really, it's musical the way that he's approaching this piece almost.
Yeah, I love it. That rhythm, you're talking exactly right. That rhythm is just, it's in him and it's making its way onto the canvas. It's really impressive.
And he's so involved and very physical, and especially even getting in there with that finger painting technique.
Yeah, and it's we're still a little blown out on the camera settings there, so you can't quite see how that's going, but we'll get a good shot of that later. I have high hopes and good feelings about that one.
And here we are with Heather Mattingly. And Heather creates a lot of work that is inspired by Louisiana.
Oh, very good. Is this a monochromatic piece so far?
Looking like we're in the monochrome right now. I'm getting kind of swampy vibes.
Very interesting. I don't even know what to expect yet. Very spiky. It's spikier than I would feel swamp is. Oh, but here come the colors. So maybe we'll get to see.
So Heather,
I didn't see the bird. You're totally right, of course. There's
I didn't see the bird either.
Some kind of an egret or some kind of a water bird there, though, hanging out in the foreground.
That's cool. I didn't notice that. And here we are with our wild card artist.
Oh.
And it looks like we're getting another cat. We had a cat skull hybrid in our first round from Trista, and now potentially we're getting maybe a friendlier cat this round around.
It does look like a happy cat so far. I love the background. That's very important. I mean, it's incredible that she knows that as a wild card artist. Although I heard a rumor this might be the twin sister or the sister of one of our artists. So maybe there's a bit of it runs in the family.
Very cool. I think this is, if I caught the name correctly, I think that this is Hayley Roussel, and our other artist in the first round was Hayley Roussel. So.
Oh, good. I'm glad we didn't get them in the same round. That's the family rivalry in the same round. That's just cruel.
In our last Omaha event, the champion sister, the current reigning state champion sister, was called as the wild card and ended up winning, which was pretty cool. You never know what's going to happen at Art Battle.
You never know. Wild card's a great opportunity. At most Art Battle events, you can arrive, put your name in the hat. We've saved one easel for the so-called wild card. I really like this piece.
So this is Lana Guerra, and Lana is very inspired by outsider art and likes to incorporate childlike elements within her work.
This almost has a collage feeling to me, even though I don't think there are any collage elements. And it also has a bit of a like youthful scribble aspect to it. Not to take it down at all. I like that about it. But you know, it's you see in the bottom left corner there, and then some of that line work. It's very sort of automatic. It's very cool.
Lana, I'm sure, is going to be thrilled hearing this commentary because you basically just read her artist statement. So.
Okay, nice. I wish I did not just read her artist statement. So nice.
Ooh, check out that highlight that's going on the far side of the cheek. That moment just really brought this piece forward for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh man, the intensity of we got 12 minutes left. I always find it an interesting challenge when you do a portrait like this and the eyes are left to the end. It can be so tempting to just leave the eyes blank, but then it's the piece, whatever it was gonna be, there's a haunting aspect to it if the eyes are missing. And sometimes that gels with the audience and the voters, but it's definitely a hill to climb if it's not there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here.
I would love that last minute surprise of eye contact. I agree with you. I do like a haunting, no eye contact, no pupil every so often, but it really can make or break a portrait, whether or not it connects with the audience.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, the audience loves a portrait no matter what, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see.
And heading over to Taylor Chartrand now.
I like this. Kind of a landscape city, you know, there's an architectural element, but it's very, I don't know, are we seeing like a secret door in a garden? It's cool. It's got a good vibe.
I think you're right on with that. Taylor kind of likes to incorporate surreal elements into objects that look otherwise a little bit more friendly. And so I think that we're definitely seeing that here. We've got this kind of more friendly, approachable environment, and then this door kind of coming out of nowhere. Maybe it's some sort of portal.
Yeah, and her palette is very good. It's got a classical painting feel just from the pretty, accurate palette. Ooh, look at this! Get some kind of a comic book superhero fire cowboy thing going on. Very cool.
Yeah, I am so stoked on this. There's so much going on in terms of the engagement of his process, but then you have the visual is just as strong. Some artists perform in an exciting way, but then the canvas doesn't reflect something beautiful, but this is really coming together in a nice way.
And of course, watching him work is such a pleasure. I mean, you almost feel like, your hands could be his hands. They couldn't, and certainly not in my case, but it's cool because it's almost like pottery, like he's working with it like clay, except that it's flat.
I know. Monty's going to get his own live stream next time.
Yeah, definitely. Ooh, well, this has exploded since we saw it last. It was, I don't know if that was just the camera, but it looked like it was purely monochrome, and now this is super vibrant. Really cool. Unusual colors with that watercolor is not, a normal watercolor. It's a bit of a teal, I guess. But I'm into it, and you see the individual stroke, especially in that like light colored tree in the middle of the painting there. Each individual stroke is a different color paint, and I love it when that happens. That's for me is the mark of the quote unquote painterly approach gone right, when you have these like super individualized paint strokes, even that are different colors.
Yeah, there's definitely an impressionist vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And over with our wild card Heidi.
That's a very good cat painting.
And super, super strong cat confrontational eye contact.
Yeah, the eyes are by far that is powerful. And with that little nose, with it, it's cool. It's still a playful, happy cat, but that's an intense cat also.
I'm actually really enjoying the level of diffusion that's happening around the edges of the cat as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's kind of a sharpness in the face, and then everything else is a lot looser. So I'm wondering whether or not she's going to tighten that up, or if she's going to keep it intentionally loose. I kind of like it.
I like it. I like it like that. Very cool. I feel like the cat is in hiding, is in camouflage. So it's kind of cool because it speaks to that. Whoa.
This piece is so engaging. Like, your eye just bounces all over the place. And I encourage everyone, once they're finished voting, to check out the artist profiles and go see the artist's studio work, because this is so close to Lana's studio work.
The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eyes here is it pulls you in. You're looking at one eye, but all the other eyes are still staring at you. So it gives you a feeling of uneasiness where you have to sort of defend yourself from all of these eyes staring at you. Very impressive effect.
Yeah, there's a viscerality here that is very confronting, and having that vibe with all of these kind of playful, almost childlike elements is a really interesting contrast.
Ooh, we're getting pupils!
Yay! It's my favorite time.
Pupil time. Very cool.
Oh, we got the tease of starting to block in the pupil. It's funny how many artists, I think Nila is our third artist today who is taking advantage of using their mouth to keep their brushes. For me, the highest point of this painting, what I'm most impressed by, is all of the different colors that are kind of colliding within the background and still maintaining their own vibrancy. They're not muddy.
Yeah. It's got a bit of a like otherworldly effect coming out of it as well. And what I really like is the way whatever those sort of darker marks that are sort of emanating from the person there, it feels like, you know, I don't not quite thought waves, but that person's like transmitting somehow, and that's a really that's another way to connect. You know, telekinesis almost.
Yeah, I agree. There's some special magic happening in that piece. And I also feel like there's some magic here as well, and that we could just like walk through this doorway into this other like idyllic realm.
This is a very good painting. This is a, you know, sort of a painting's painting. I really like it. This is one anyone would feel comfortable hanging in their home, because it does what you said there. You know, it's kind of like a portal to another place. And what's really cool about this is whatever that other place is, it's hidden. You know, often you'll see windows in paintings or doorways in paintings, but the emphasis is usually what's on the other side. I mean, obviously the foreground with the window or the door. Here, the door is a complete mystery, and yet it's so inviting. So, bravo and well done.
And now we're getting pops of highlight here on the edges of Monty's character. And I think that the hair is really like cascading into white, which I think is a little bit difficult for our camera to pick up. But I think there's an intentional luminosity there. Wow, I'm so incredibly impressed with Heather and how quickly she's executing. And also, when I was checking out Heather's work earlier today, there were all of these black lines around all of her different colors within her paintings, and I was wondering how she executed that. And the mystery has been revealed is that she actually puts black down first and then layers all of these vibrant colors over top. So that's got to be a major challenge in the art battle arena when all of that black paint is going to be wet when you're layering over it.
Yeah, and but she's absolutely done it. I don't know what the secret was there. Could have been hard to tell from our angle, but could have been a very dry brush approach. Maybe there was some fanning, but that is those colors are very distinct, and the painting is no longer a black painting. That's for sure.
I'm so pleased with this cat painting. I'm feeling that it's very easy to relate to this painting, and I want that cat. I want to pet the cat.
Yeah, I do too. The cat and the doorway are very like, you could put those in your home and people are like, ooh, that's such a nice painting. You know, some of the and that's not to say that the other pieces for you know, some more discerning art lovers might not be appropriate, but you know, 6 eyes over there is you know, you got to have just the right room for that.
Yeah, for sure. There's an approachability here, but it's also not a generic painting. There's a lot of unique elements, and it probably was a pretty cool household with Hayley and Heidi in the mix, both artists, both painters. And we have just 2 minutes remaining on the clock. We are ticking the time down, and voting is now open at artbattle.com/AB2539. So make sure that you head over there and get registered to vote. And also, all of the works created tonight are available for silent auction at that same link. So if you're falling in love with any of these pieces as you're watching them be created, you don't need to be in the room. We will ship them to you. So make sure that you get your bids in on the auction if you want to collect these pieces. Wow, Nila is just really driving home the concept of ethereality within this piece and really adding in all of these glowing elements.
Yeah, that's not easy, because each of those glowing elements involves a whole sequence of colors, and to keep them clean, especially with such, there's some dark colors both in the skin color and in the water, I guess, whatever's in the background there. So that's quite a feat, and you really feel that character pop in a essentially magical, otherworldly way. Great work.
Especially this buttery yellow that is creating this halo effect around the head is just wonderful. And the incredible sense of depth that Taylor has been able to achieve here. Wow.
I really like this painting. If anybody's going to bid on this painting, you might have to bid against me because I don't know. It's actually cool. It's a doorway that's just a doorway. At first I thought it was essentially a doorway against the wall, like a garden wall or something. But there's the depth behind that it's like a doorway into nothing. So you really want to get in there, and it has incredible depth.
I love how the entry is just black. But we have just counted down our final 10 seconds. So this round, our second round of Art Battle in New Orleans, our very first event here, has concluded, and voting is open, and it is your job as the viewers to vote at artbattle.com/EB2539. The top two artists from our first round and the top two artists from this round will be voted forward and going into a third and final 4-artist showdown with another 20 minutes on the clock. So as you are thinking of which artist you want to vote for, think not only about the visual representation of the piece, but also the performance of the artist and who you want to see paint again.
This is a tough round to pick. You only get to vote once. You can vote, as Morgan said, at artbattle.com. You can click through on the links. You can also vote in the apps on Art Battle on Android and iOS. It doesn't look great. We're working on those apps these days, but if you find where it says New Orleans, you can go in there and vote for sure and bid. And this is a tough round. I mean, there are, for my eye, there's 3 or 4 paintings I would have a tough time choosing between. And you only get to vote once, but 2 artists will go on from round 1 and 2 artists from round 2. Voting for round 1 and round 2 are both open now. So if you missed round 1, especially we weren't online on the video for round 1, you can see pictures and in fact progress pictures of the paintings on those links. If you register to vote, you'll get a special web link, and you'll be able to see who you can vote for.
And we will be back in just a few minutes with the announcement of who our final 4 artists are and who will be moving forward into the first ever final round of Art Battle New Orleans. I'm very, very excited.
Amazing.
So round 3 will be Wino and Hayley Roussel. Joining them in the final round from round 2 will be Lana Guerra and Nila Perez. And one more big round of applause for every artist who competed here tonight. Every one of these paintings is absolutely magnificent. And don't forget that the auction is open for every one of these paintings now. These paintings could be yours to take home with you tonight. I know that I would love to have every single one of these paintings in my home, brightening my day. It'll be about 10 minutes. We'll return for our final round. Finalist painters, you will find your names on the easels. We'll see y'all soon. Nila, are you ready? Alright, y'all. Get one more 10-second countdown to the final round. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's pick! Go for it!
All right, welcome back everyone to our third and final round of the first ever art battle event in New Orleans. We have 4 artists, our 4 finalists, painting right now. They have 20 minutes on the clock to do yet another incredible painting right in front of your eyes. The artists who made it to the final from round number 1 are Hayley Roussel and Ed Wino. And from round number 2, the artists that moved forward were Lana Guerra and Nila Perez. Very, very exciting because all of these artists just performed so incredibly in their qualifying rounds. Very excited to see what they do in the final.
Woo! I'm glad we're going to get to see. Is this Lana's work? Is this Lana's piece?
Yes.
Yeah. Her first piece was so wild. It'll be really interesting to see how the two compare to each other.
Yeah, I'm really, really stoked on the character that she's blocked in already so quickly, only in like 90 seconds.
That's what's really fun about her work is there's so many different layers of the creative process, and each one of them is sort of, it's almost like it's complete on its own. But she can tell a very fun story as her work goes along.
Yeah, it's like moving through layers of consciousness almost.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And here we are with Nila, who did our incredible, super ethereal, otherworldly portrait. And now over to Ed Wino. And Ed's piece in the first round was so cool. It was all of these rubber ducks in this pattern, and each duck had a unique item on their face. Like one of them had a Mike Tyson tattoo, and it was just really, really fun. So it looks like he's used a piece of rubber to trace all of these shapes. So I think that we're going to be getting more pattern work from him.
I love a good pattern, and obviously so does he, for many reasons, not least is his shirt.
I know you're coveting that shirt, Simon.
I am. I might have to call him. I have his phone number somewhere in the back here. I'm going to say, are you done with that shirt? I think we're about the same size. It's going to be gummy bears.
Yes. Yeah, I was like, is it too early to call it?
It's gummy bears.
And Hayley Roussel, and very, very excited to see how this is going to take shape. Hayley's first round piece was very pink and green, so definitely we're in a different color palette this time around.
Mm-hmm. Great background. Interesting she's holding her water with her brush there. It's very full too.
Yeah, we're in risky territory here.
We are in risky territory a little, yeah. Although it could be her drink.
Maybe that's her drink.
Water. No, it can't be her drink, is it?
I think it is, otherwise the water would be blue.
Good point. And her drink is way too full. She needs to take a sip.
Yeah, we're having drink anxiety here for Hayley, but it looks like she's working on this elevated statue, and I really like that the composition is that it's very far off to the side. So I think that's going to lead to a really engaging atmosphere for the rest of the piece.
Oh my God, I love this piece so much. Stop now. It's great. Is it sort of a demented dog? The snout, if it is, and the teeth is what's giving me that, I guess.
Definitely very engaging. I'm loving the arms that are also snakes.
Yes.
And again, Lana is using her hand for a lot of this as well, and really switching between so many tools. I think she's got pastel, she's got paint, she's got marker in here. I'm really interested in the way that Nila applies this paint. It's so transparent. I'm wondering whether or not this is oil.
Yeah, very thin, but very liquidy, which is really is an interesting combo because hopefully it will dry in time and as she's hoping. But the actual, what the brush is leaving behind, it feels very fluid with some really interesting lines in it.
Yeah, she's layering it on, and then the pressure of the brush itself is lifting paint off.
Mm-hmm.
I think we know who our camera person is going to vote for.
Well, there's so much to look at, but you're right.
Your eye.
You just never know, and you also never know what she's going to do next. It's like, what? The black outline? Did anybody see that coming there? Ooh, I'm getting this circus magician vibe with these hands and that sort of puffed collar stripe thing going on there. Very fun.
For me, I'm just so impressed with how subtle the hands are in that they're very, very loose, but you really understand the gesture.
Yeah, they're almost smoke hands.
Mm-hmm. I'm having so much fun with this piece already. Ed he came super prepared.
Oh, you said he used a rubber or something, but he has a stencil effectively there in his hand. I don't know if you saw that. I was wondering how he got such perfect shapes on that with just a rubber ruler or whatever. But this is going to be a fun piece, and with a lot of depth. The way he's got the one little guy under the other little guy there. I'm sure we're going to see that again.
Oh, and now we have the addition of a second statue on the other side.
Cool. Cityscape with like dueling gargoyles, dueling angels.
And then in the bottom foreground, we've also got some florals, I think, as well. So Hayley is really playing with depth of field here as well.
Mm-hmm. She's being really intentional, of course, about the perspective of it. I keep seeing her sort of glance up and down and comparing different sight lines. I think. I mean, it's a little hard to tell, but I think that's what's going on. It is a pretty flat piece so far, but I bet we see some perspective that comes into it.
Yeah, there's definitely an intentionality in the size layering. Ooh, check out this running paint marker thing.
It's like a bingo dabber almost.
But I think that she's actually filled it with ink, the way that it's behaving.
It's hard to tell. There's the camera shot here isn't great. This painting looks totally crazy right now. There may be a layer or two of it that we're missing, but this is like a little off the deep end. I like it.
Me too. There's something that's like autonomic about it.
Mm-hmm. Painted by a disturbed child.
Yeah, it's like this kid has had nightmares after eating like a lot of cotton candy.
Exactly. The smoke hands. Oh, this is a great time to come to this painting. Very cool.
Wow, I know. I'm so happy that we caught this moment. Just the way that there's a slight transparency in the palm of the top hand and that the thumb is darker. Wow, this piece is... I mean, I'm excited to see how the face evolves, but as far as the hands go, I'd say 20 more seconds on these, and then I just want her to stop touching them because I love them so much.
Yeah, at any moment it could all go wrong with the hands.
That's
always the case
of art battle, right? Is knowing when to stop, and also the challenge of being a viewer at Art Battle is falling in love with these paintings at different stages, and you feel so invested in each.
You really have to hold back on your love so you know what it's going to be finally. Okay. Just 10 whole minutes left, so lots of time to both make some improvements and also some mistakes. We'll see what happens.
And just a reminder to anybody who's watching out there in streaming land, all of the artists that are painting right now are painting their first Art Battle ever.
Yeah, amazing. And also a reminder, even if you're at home, you can still bid on these paintings. We don't have this listed anywhere else, but I'll tell you what, if you're listening to me right now and you bid on one of these paintings and you pay more than $100, we'll give you free shipping. That's it. And if anybody says, well, why do you think you get free shipping? You just tell them that Simon told you that it was okay, and it'll all work out. You'll get free shipping if you spend more than $100 on any one of these paintings, you streaming people.
Ooh, pro tips. I love the way that he's leaving little bits of the canvas shining through to kind of act as the highlight. I was surprised.
I love this new color. This new, little gradient here, the orange to yellow. I guess it's calling out a sunset situation, but I like it the way just that it is sort of outlining. I think that she's going to be compelled to fill. I would expect her to keep going into this. I guess that's what's going to happen. But it's still very, very cool to have that fundamental blue background, but then it warmed up substantially by this new addition.
I'm really impressed with the artist's ability tonight overall, a bunch of them, to layer color on top of color in such a short amount of time, because we know that the high risk here is that you're working wet on wet and there's potential for it to get muddy there.
Yeah, you're right. No, in fact, none of these artists have messed it up. It's a very common thing to, have a plan that involves layering and too much wet and bleed through and whatever. And, what could have been a really nice piece is ruined by the muddy colors. But even on this, painting where it could have such a risk at that, it's barely in play. Still 6 distinct colors. Really great work by all of the artists who are engaged in that.
I usually am not a huge fan of the addition of words into pieces, but where it says hi, it's just so endearing.
With the heart, of course, too. It is. It's short enough that you're not being asked to engage the writing language part of your brain. It almost is just a visual piece. So I do appreciate that.
I appreciate also how much of the tone of the background is evident here from this piece by Nila, that initial orangey brown that's underneath.
Okay, let's get into these hands here. So the smoke hand stage of this was really, really exciting because you knew what the gesture was, but it was still super ethereal. I think that the transition to this more rigid, concrete, solid hand thing has been done really, really well, but I love the top hand a lot more than the bottom hand.
I agree. There's a looseness in the bottom of the top hand and then a super sharpness at the top of the fingers that's really satisfying.
That top hand is really great. It'd be interesting to see, if she sees that. Probably she does. And what approach to sort of merge them or just even the styles. So that's one thing that the viewers would really catch, I think, is that the hands look great, but one hand looks different than the other. Like, at least if the hands are the same, it can feel a lot more intentional. So I'll be watching for that.
Wow, this piece, the way that the blue of the sculptures is shining out against that yellowy orange is just really stunning. The layering here is just wonderful, and you can see so much texture in it still. This is a painter's painting.
And she hasn't had a sip of her drink.
But she's held it the whole time. When she's finished, she's going to realize that her hand is like all cramped up.
It's all cramped up. It's so funny.
Well, we are at a brewery tonight, Zoni Mash Brewery.
They make all kinds of things. They make, in addition to some very cool beers, they actually do some more distilled type products there. I can't wait to get down there and try some of their handcrafted beverages.
And
Was that more writing there? We got high in the top. And this is WEA? WT?
I think it's a sweat. Maybe. I think we're not supposed to know.
I don't know. There's another piece of writing there. That painting's going to lose. For me, I'm not, one thing we say for anybody who's tuning the first time with Art Battle is the way to win Art Battle is paint your best painting and then paint an even better painting in the final round. For me, look, vote for whoever you want, but at least at this point, it's still 4 minutes left. That painting is not better than her first painting. It's a very cool and interesting painting, but it lacks some of the, like the individual components were super strong in the previous one, and it's a bit blurred here together. Anyway, on to this next painting. The hands are becoming more in sync with each other.
Yeah, with the carving in of the highlights here, just again, so immersed in Nila and the way that she's painting, because she's removing paint to reveal highlights, which is usually you're applying paint to create highlights.
Very interesting techniques. Has she rubbed? What's going on with right at the edge of the canvas? Is she wiped it? No, it was just the camera angle. I thought she had like a thin line of white along the edge of the canvas by wiping, but no, not the case. Great piece. Very like refined circus performer, abstract magician thing going on here. Look at her. She's painting on her arm. I love it when they do that. The real pro tip is to put saran wrap on your arm and then paint on that, and then you can cut it off after.
Oh, that is a good pro tip. Okay, so we're getting a little bit more diffused color in the background here. I was wondering just how many gummy bears we were going to see.
I think it's going all the way. Oh, no, you're right. At the bottom, those aren't gummies.
I like that red blue. Sorry.
The auction is quite a warm auction, and it is heating up. We see some bids in the $300 to $400 range, and a number of paintings that are still in the $100 to $150 range. And a couple of the ones in round 3 are still at opening bid. So check it out. You can anybody can vote, anybody can bid. You're welcome to register to vote. You just have to put in your name and phone number at artbattle.com/AB2539 and help us choose the champion and maybe take one of these paintings off.
The best bear is definitely the central bear, which as it should be.
As it should be, for sure.
I love
that bear is the, you know, the you on Reddit, the Reddit I'm the main character. That bear is the main character.
Totally. And Ed is also holding his beer while he's painting too. This is Zoni Mash is gonna love the live stream.
Thanks to Zoni Mash for keeping our artists just a little bit weird.
I'm actually starting to think that maybe this piece is of a graveyard.
Oh my God, you're so right. It's not a city.
And it feels so celebratory. And I think that that's really cool. And I think that that's also something that's within New Orleans culture, is to have reverence and a closeness to celebrating spirits. That's
cool. I completely agree. I'm worried about what she's doing there on the other side that we can't see right now with the that some kind of a like firework arched dotted line thing. That could be tough to come back from. Okay, what does this say? This says sweat, her name at the bottom, snack, noodle.
So much fun. My favorite part is the little skull on the gray.
The skulls are actually really good. Yeah. We'll see what our folks on YouTube have to say about what that said.
And we soon are going to be getting into our final countdown. Ooh, check out the warmth that's now been added into the clothing. That's cool. And again, a testament to Nila's ability to layer color.
Wow. This piece has been incredibly well timed, the development of it. Look at this lightest layer on the top with 5 seconds left. Oh, wow. That could pull her over the top. What she just did right there with this carving into back to the canvas. Oh, Jesus. Wow.
So good.
That's impressive.
And enthralling at every point.
There was always something to look at. Remember how this started? It was just a ghost of a painting.
And we loved it then.
And we loved it then. Well, I mean, let's go around, but it might be our person there. This is a really fun painting. There's no doubt about that. And actually, is this the same scratch off technique, or did he put something's going on there with those white highlights?
There's some that are squiggled on in the background, and most of the highlights were just left. Like that's the background of the canvas. So a really intelligent use there. Oh, it's not a firework. It's safe. It's a tree.
Okay, thank gosh. Great, really nice, vibrant, essentially happy, but certainly positive graveyard painting. Very cool.
Yeah,
that's a super New Orleans painting also, so that's fun.
And the way that she's juxtaposed these colors, the blue to the yellow, is just super satisfying. And it was quite the journey watching that piece come to fruition as well, where it started totally blue and now it's so multicolored.
Yes. Wow, some deep talent here at this show. I hope we're going to have a number of these artists back.
We already have a waiting list for next month for artists, and applications are still open, so a good time to plug. Head over to the Art Battle website if your mirror neurons are firing and you want to step up to the easel. We would love to see your work.
And if you're not in New Orleans, we have shows all across the country, all across the U.S., and around the world. Check out artbattle.com/apply, where you can see a quick list of the events that are coming up that you might be able to apply to.
Man, I just like this piece more and more every time I see it.
Yeah, I'm predicting our winner here. I'm not going to check the voting until much later in all this, but get your votes in. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and predict our winner there. This is fun, but it's well executed actually. But I don't know if it's as universal as the other piece. But if you like gummy bears, you definitely vote this piece.
And I also really appreciate Ed's technique in that he had brought this shape with him, and he knew he was going to get to the final. He definitely was planning to create a second painting, and he definitely earned his way forward into the final here. I wonder whether or not Hayley will take a sip of her drink now. If you guys have yet to vote, make sure that you head over to artbattle.com/AB2539 and cast your vote and help us choose who will be the very first Art Battle New Orleans champion. Super, super exciting. And the winner of tonight's event will actually be moving forward into a regional final because we are going to be planning on many more shows in New Orleans. And also want to take this opportunity to give a huge shout out to our team on the ground who are running an absolutely fantastic show, and to all 12 of our artists who painted with us tonight and just absolutely rocked the easel.
All right, I'm going to vote. I'm not going to look at the voting results. Okay, so Morgan muted in case I was going to say something I shouldn't, but I'm going to vote. I do not. I have not seen the results for round three. I don't know anything about the results, but I'm going to vote because it's part of the fun of it, you know. And then after that, we'll pop in and take a look at the voting results, and I'll give you some indication of how much of a landslide it is or not. Okay, I voted. Let's go look. We're not going to tell you till the rest of the crowd knows, but we can say some things about it. Well, it's close, is the answer. It is not clear who the winner is going to be. It's only 2 votes separate the first position person from the second position person. But those two are in a tight battle ahead of the other two. So I don't know if that's useful or interesting or just frustrating, but those are the facts.
Pretty exciting.
So good. I'm looking at our new voting results graphs here, Morgan, to get some indication of which type of voters were excited by the different artists. And both the top 2 artists are in such a commanding lead that they're in because of their support of artists. Artists' votes have accounted for a big portion of those of the total vote value of those 2 artists. And the same thing is true, especially in round 1. Our winners are clear winners because of their the support by artists in the room and around the country.
Very, very cool. Really, really fun to be able to get some insight into the voting process there.
Mm-hmm. I think we're going to be able to send this out to all of y'all after the show. Pretty cool to be able to see. Okay, if you're thinking about getting in on that auction, I would do it this minute. Mere moments away from the auction automatically closing on its own on a timer. If you keep bidding, though, the auction does keep extending, but as it is for right now, it's only a few moments left if you're thinking about getting in on one of those paintings.
Yeah, I'm checking out the auction right now, and definitely some impressive pieces, and I'm sure we're going to have lots of happy collectors tonight.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it looks like 2 minutes. Going to close at 10:02 local time for the ones that are at least don't have recent bids.
I am very stoked to hear who our winning artist is going to be.
I'm stoked too. I think it's clear. We're going to tell them.
Woohoo!
All right. The results are in. The votes have been tallied. The audience has spoken. The winner of tonight's initial art battle in New Orleans is Nila Perez. Congratulations, Nila. One more round of applause for every one of our artists tonight. This is fantastic. Look at these beautiful paintings. It's amazing. They did this in 20 minutes. We will be doing this again next month, Friday, July 14th. On your way out, you will see a QR code for 40% off those tickets. That is good for tonight and tomorrow. Don't forget to get your auctions in, get your bids in. You don't want to leave without one of these beautiful pieces of art tonight. Thank you, Zoni Mesh. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. And we will see you next time.
A huge congratulations to our winning artist, Nila Perez. Two absolutely incredible paintings, a really well-deserved win. We want to also thank our team on the ground in New Orleans, and of course, all 12 of our artists that painted with us tonight, and to everyone who joined us on the live stream and attended the event in person. We will be back for Art Battle New Orleans again on July 14th, so we will be back super, super soon, and we would love to see you. Once again, congratulations to Nila, who will be moving forward into the regional finals next year. We will be back on the stream tomorrow for the Halifax Championship, so stay tuned and keep watch. Thank you, everyone, and good night.